Opinion. It's my opinion. Hey folks, I'm Raven, and if you've caught my channel recently or been a long time subscriber, you've probably noticed I think all but one of my recent videos have been Marvel Rivals. I've been playing a lot of Marvel Rivals. I have a lot of opinions about Marvel Rivals, and this is going to be my post-beta alpha, not a review, because I'm not a reviewer, but I can list what I like and don't like about it, and where I think it's going to bring the game. So what is it I like most about Marvel Rivals? The first and most forward-facing feature of a hero shooter are the heroes. How do they feel in Marvel Rivals? They feel fantastic. All of the heroes feel like they've been ripped straight out of the comics or the movies, and you feel like that hero. If you're playing Spider-Man, you feel like Spider-Man. You swing around the map like an idiot. Maybe not quite as skillfully as Spider-Man does, but you do feel like if you were a good Spider-Man player, you would feel like Spider-Man. Iron Man flying around constantly. Thor charging forward with Mjolnir. Groot building walls? Okay, maybe some of the heroes don't quite land, but most of them, more than I thought they would be, feel very close to how you would think they would be represented based off of their character and their abilities from the comics and movies. Next, in terms of style, they've went with something that is somewhere between cartoonish and comic booky, and it works in my opinion. I like it, I know some people don't, which is fair. Some people think it looks cheap. I don't. I think it looks great, but for me, my opinion, it works. On a similar path, the map design is great. There is lots of verticality all over the maps, and there is lots to break. Now, there are a couple of points that I want to get into with maps more in the more negative side section, but just the design of the maps that we have, in terms of verticality and stuff, generally I think they're quite good. The game also has some very interesting mechanics and ideas. Things like Doctor Strange's portal being actively two-way that you can shoot through. It does destroy your FPS, but it's a cool idea. Map destruction, cool idea. There are lots of things that make me go, okay, this doesn't just feel like a cash grab, it feels like somebody's thought about these things as a fun way to play their game. And that loops back around into my final point, which is the game just feels fun. It feels good to play. There is lots to learn, there is lots to do. It succeeds at what is essentially the most essential part of a video game, it being a fun thing to do. Now, I will point out with all of these positive points, we're very much in the Goldilocks period of the game. People still haven't fully adjusted to it. It might be in a couple of months some of these things become grating. The destructible features of the map, for example, they can fall down and stop you getting onto points. They can make movement harder. They can get in your way and be slightly irritating. But yeah, whilst these positive points are my opinions now, after the alpha and beta, maybe in a couple of months when the game releases and I've been playing it for 3 or 4 months, I go, I fucking hate this mechanic. I don't know. We'll find out then. Right now though, those are the bits I'm finding most fun. Let's talk about some of the things I find less fun. Well, it does only seem fair after spending 5 minutes noshing off the game, I spend 5 minutes shitting on it, right? So let's talk about some of the issues I see with Marvel Rivals. Issue number 1, not enough maps. It's a beta and an alpha, so I don't expect there to be more maps. However, it is something worth mentioning if the game releases and they haven't added at least double the number of maps they currently have, that's probably a problem. The maps get boring quickly, and it makes the game as a whole feel boring quite quickly. I mentioned it briefly in my Overwatch versus Marvel Rivals video. It does affect how the game feels, so they need to, before release, at least double the number of maps. Speaking of before release, they should probably fix the FPS issues. There are several points in multiple of my videos where I am playing the game and my FPS just disappears.
Nice.
Oh, the portal's gone. Oh my god, my frames have gone with it! Sometimes I can sort of figure out what caused it, i.e. if you jump through a Doctor Strange portal, there seems to be about an 80% chance your frames just go down the shitter. But some other times, you're doing nothing. You'll kill someone and your FPS will jump out a window. And it's like, okay, cool. I didn't want to see anyway. I mean, again, beta alpha, I can forgive these things, but it still needs to be addressed before the game releases, because once the game comes out, these things can't be forgiven in the same way. Talking about things that won't be able to be forgiven in the same way upon release, let's talk balance. Balance isn't the worst part of this game by any means, and there are several things I like about how they're balancing it. Most of the characters err on the side of completely overpowered, and when I say most, I can only think of 2 characters I would actively call weak. Those being Penny Parker and Loki. Every other character in the game, I genuinely believe, even if they're kinda mid, they're still pretty strong. So there are 6 supports in the game. I'd place Jeff the Shark just above Loki. But in most other games, Jeff would be considered reasonably strong if not very strong. It's just the other 4 supports are so insanely strong that they just outpace him. He doesn't have the same utility as them. So, whilst balance is a noteworthy issue in the game, it isn't the end of the world, and I just thought it would be remiss not to mention it. My final point I would make about what I don't like about the game is the rank system. I personally do not enjoy ladder systems. I think when everybody starts at the bottom of a rank system, it means climbing out of that bottom rank is incredibly difficult if you want an exceptional player. What do I mean by this? I lost probably about 40 games and won about 40 games in the bottom tier of ranked. I then got out of the bottom tier of ranked and immediately got to gold 3 that same day, above something like 92% of players. Now, am I a player in the top 8%? I very much doubt it. But am I a player that should be at the bottom rank in the game? I also very much doubt it. I was effectively the equivalent of 1 rank division above everybody else. In between Silver 1 and Bronze 1 is where 92% of the player base is. That's madness, and I hope they do something about it before launch, because otherwise on launch, what's going to happen is people like me are going to find that have played the game through alpha and beta and have had some practice are going to manage to climb out of Bronze really quickly, and people that are new to the game but of varying skill levels are going to be stuck in Bronze 1 because it's just going to be a mess. I feel all sticky now I've spoke about ranked. I need to go shower and touch some grass. My final thoughts for Marvel Rivals are, it is a game with a hell of a lot of potential, but a long road ahead of it yet. As I said in my Overwatch versus Marvel Rivals videos, it is not as good as Overwatch yet, and I don't like Overwatch. I think it's more fun than Overwatch, but from a purely technical level, it isn't as good. There is too many rough corners right now. I think potentially it could be. I really hope it does reach that potential, but I also would not feel confident in saying that it is a better game yet, and there are still many things they could trip up over. The skins in the store, just looking at the prices of them from the free currency that you earn right now, that I assume is going to be the paid currency on launch. I hope they don't do the we're Overwatch and we're going to charge £40 for a skin bullshit. So we'll see what they do. There are plenty of right and wrong directions this game could go. I think if you're saying it's dead on arrival, you're brain dead. I think if you're saying it's going to kill Overwatch, you're probably also brain dead. I don't think either of those things are going to happen. I think it's going to be a successful competitor to Overwatch, as long as they don't actively faceplant into the first wall they see. But it's fun at the end of the day, and and in terms of can I recommend the game to other people, 100%. I do believe people should play this game. I think it's a lot of fun, and I think it's a fantastic game for what it is. That being said, it has been almost 10 minutes of Raven rambling about video game opinions, and nobody deserves that pain. So I'm going to wrap up the video here. Hopefully, my opinions came across in a concise way, and hopefully, I enlightened you all with my genius 500 IQ thoughts. Beyond that, thank you for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you next time.